Today we're going to speak about what kind of camera do we need for great shots. I often get asked the question, does one need an expensive camera to get good shots? Well, my answer to that question is both yes and no. The more expensive cameras have additional functionality that the cheaper cameras do not necessarily have. However, that additional functionality is not always required by an amateur. For no part. It is always the photographer's ability to interpret a scene or the subject in front of his camera and then to capture that in an engaging way. The camera is only a tool in that process. If you are starting out as a photographer, it is my recommendation that you get yourself a second-hand entry-level DSLR. I did this a few years ago and I upgraded from my Fujifilm Happy Snapper point-and-shoot camera to a Canon 350D. This camera didn't have video capabilities because it was an entry-level DSLR for Canon in 2005. That didn't bother me because I was upgrading and upskilling my photographic capabilities. Briefly, here are the major differences between these two cameras. As you can clearly see, these two cameras are not of the same standard. In a future video, I'll go into the pros and cons of the differences between these two cameras, but for now, this information will be sufficient. It's also very clear from the information here that the Canon is the superior camera. However, as I was saying earlier, one does not need an expensive camera to get good shots. Several years ago, I got this old Canon 350D camera, and even though it doesn't have any video capabilities, it is a fully manual camera. That's the important thing. And that has enabled me to learn my craft and am now able to take good shots. Several years ago, I got this camera second-hand for around 2,500 Rand, which is about $200. That is the price of a cheap cell phone. So as you can see, with the DSLR, you'll be able to use many of its additional features to capture images. This will ultimately lead you to capture images that are far superior to a small Happy Snapper. Manual functionality on a camera will help you learn very quickly how to create good images. I'm not talking about composition and that kind of thing. I'm talking about how to capture light in a way that is not possible with a camera that is not fully manual. When you've learned those little tips and tricks in your manual mode, you will then be able to master what your image looks like when somebody eventually gets it from you. Next time, we will be discussing sensor size versus megapixels. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to see more videos by John Golden Photography, you can click here, 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 here. There are a lot of videos that you can watch. Also, I would really appreciate it if you left a comment down below, and obviously if you click like, I would appreciate that too.